Hello, I'm the Code Architect. Today, we're demystifying MLOps, bringing machine learning models into the real world.
Welcome. So let's talk about one of the biggest challenges in machine learning today. How do you get a brilliant model off a data scientist's laptop and into the real world where it can actually do some good? Well, the answer is a little something called MLOps, and we're about to break down exactly what that means and why it's such a total game changer.
First things first, let's set the stage. We need to talk about the core problem that MLOps was even created to solve, and that is the surprisingly tough challenge of actually getting ML models into production.
You've probably heard this story before, right? A team builds this incredible, super accurate model. It works like a charm on their test data, but then crickets. It just never makes it out the door to the people it's supposed to help. So what's going on here? Why does this keep happening?
Well, here's the fascinating part. It's almost never the model's fault. The problem is the process. Just look at this diagram. The path from the initial data to a live application is often this tangled web of manual steps and clunky old systems. That big red X? That's the bottleneck. It's where everything grinds to a halt, where errors creep in, and where all the amazing value of that model just gets lost in translation. Okay, so if the process is broken, how do we fix it? Well, that is the exact question MLOps was designed to answer. It's all about building a bridge over that chaotic gap between development and real-world operations.
At its heart, MLOps is a really powerful but pretty simple idea. It takes all the amazing principles that transform software development, I'm talking about automation, collaboration, and continuous improvement, and applies them directly to the unique world of machine learning.
I love this visual because it just captures the whole concept perfectly. MLOps is that bridge. You've got the data scientists on one side, working their magic on the data, and on the other side, you have the operations team, focused on keeping things running for actual users. MLOps connects them, creating a smooth, reliable path for models to travel.
All right, so now that we get the what, let's pop the hood and look at the how. We're going to check out the engine that actually drives MLOps, the automated machine learning lifecycle.
The first thing you'll notice about this diagram is that it's a circle. It's a continuous loop. This isn't a one-time thing. It's a constant cycle of developing, then building and testing, and then deploying and monitoring, with all that information feeding right back to the beginning. So let's break down each of these big pieces.
First up, we've got continuous integration, or CI. You can think of this as the first line of defense for quality. Every single time a developer pushes new code, an automated system jumps into action. It builds, tests, and validates everything, not just the code, but the data and the model itself.
Honestly, the best way to picture CI is like this factory assembly line. The code comes in at the top, and then it moves through all these automated checks, unit tests, integration tests, the whole shebang. It's all about catching any little defects super early, long before they have a chance to become big, messy problems down the road.
So, once our model has passed all its tests with flying colors, it's ready for the next phase, continuous delivery, or CD. The whole goal here is to automate the release process, to make deploying a new model a predictable, reliable, and honestly, a kind of boring event. And boring is good.
And this slide shows you that CI/CD pipeline in action. It takes that validated model, puts it through some final checks and security scans, gets all the infrastructure ready, and then just smoothly manages the release to users. It's basically a seamless automated delivery service for your AI.
But hey, deploying the model is not the finish line. Not even close. In a lot of ways, it's actually the starting line. Because once a model is out there in the wild, interacting with real-world data, we have to keep a very close eye on it.
Think of it like a 24/7 health monitor for your model. It's constantly tracking its vital signs, performance metrics, data drift, you name it. And if it spots a problem, it can immediately fire off an alert to the team. But here's where it gets really powerful. It can even be set up to automatically trigger a retraining pipeline to get the model back in shape, all on its own.
So we've gone through the what and the how. But now, let's talk about the big one, the why. Why is MLOps such a fundamental game changer for any company that's truly serious about machine learning? This slide just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the old way, the manual, error-prone mess that we saw earlier. It's a recipe for headaches. But on the right, you have the MLOps way, a smooth, automated, efficient pipeline that gets you from data to a deployed model with that all-important feedback loop built right in. The difference is night and day.
And all that efficiency leads to some serious business value. You get models that are way more reliable, you can deploy and iterate so much faster, and you can scale up without everything falling apart. But for me, one of the biggest wins is collaboration. It's no longer about a data scientist just throwing a model over the wall to an engineer. Everyone's working together in the same automated system.
And if you need a number to really grab onto, how about this one? The data suggests that putting MLOps into practice can cut down the time it takes to get a model from an idea into production by a whopping 40%. That's not just a small tweak, that is a massive acceleration.
Okay, I'm guessing you're probably convinced. This sounds like the way to go, but where do you actually start? Let's walk through a few practical steps to get the ball rolling.
The absolute key here is to start small. Please, don't try to do everything all at once. Pick one area, maybe the part of your process that causes the most pain, and just focus on automating that. Maybe it's just setting up an automatic script to test your model. That one small win can save you so much time. Then, you build from there. Oh, and one more thing. Set up your monitoring from day one. Trust me, you will thank yourself later.
And the great news is, you don't have to build all of this from scratch. There's an entire ecosystem of incredible tools and platforms out there, like Databricks and Google Cloud, that are designed to help you build out your MLOps infrastructure without having to reinvent the wheel.
But I want to leave you with what is probably the most important point of this whole discussion. MLOps is so much more than just a set of tools. As you can see from this cycle, it's a cultural shift. It's about building a culture of constant iterative improvement for your models and for your team. And that really brings us to the final thought. In a world that changes as fast as ours does, a model that isn't being constantly monitored, updated, and improved, well, it's a model that's slowly dying. MLOps is what keeps your models alive and evolving. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Is your model evolving, or is it just expiring?
Like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more AI insights. I'm the Code Architect. See you soon.